Google's DeepMind has created a new organization that is focusing on AI safety. This comes as they've received a bunch of criticism on their Gemini model. So today on the podcast, I want to be talking about what this new organization is going to focus on, what they're going to do, what the criticism they've got traditionally from. Before we get into this, I want to say that today is the last day of the AI Box crowdfunding campaign for my very own AI startup, AI Box. If you're interested in investing, this is the last day. We've been running this campaign for 3 months. Today is the final day. You can go to republic.com/AI-box. I'll leave a link in the show notes. Check out how much we've raised, whether you're an investor or not. Go check out the project there. This is the final day, and so we're super excited to wrap it up and say a huge thank you to everyone who has participated and been involved since the very beginning. We're now focusing our attention on launching the platform, and we're super excited to begin this next phase. But today is the last day. If you're interested in investing, the campaign is closing today, and so this will be the last chance to come in this kind of crowdfunding way. So I'll leave a link in the show notes, and you can go check that out. So what I want to say is that this new project that Google DeepMind is focusing on, this new organization, this new AI safety play that they're making, is because of some, I believe a lot of this is because of some criticism they've gotten. So right now, if you ask Gemini, which is of course Google's kind of flagship ChatGPT competitor, their generative AI model, if you ask it to write you some, deceptive content about the US election, it's going to do it. If you give it the right prompt, right? If you can kind of sweet talk it and trick it. If you ask it about, it recently was criticized because people were asking it about the future Super Bowl game, and it invented like a play-by-play and said, oh, this game has already happened and here's everything that happened, and it was, fake. Or you could ask it about the Titan submarine implosion, and it's going to give you some fake news and some, convincing looking but untrue citations about it, right? So Google definitely has an issue there with, serving up essentially AI hallucinations. And it would seem that other AI models have kind of fixed this, but Google is still really focusing on overcoming that barrier. So it's really not a good look for Google. And I think it's provoking, a lot of policymakers who have, said that they're really not happy with how a lot of these generative AI tools can be used for can hallucinate and give misleading results pretty much. So in response to this, Google, with now thousands of jobs lighter than it was last quarter because of a lot of layoffs, they're funneling some investments towards AI safety. And at least that's what the kind of the official story is right now. So recently, Google DeepMind and the AI R&D division behind Gemini and a lot of Google's more recent generative AI projects have announced that they've created a new organization. So this is a AI safety and alignment. This is made up of a bunch of existing teams that are working on AI safety, but also this has kind of grown to encompass a bunch of new specialized groups of generative AI researchers and engineers. So beyond the just all of the job listings on Google DeepMind's site, Google is not going to actually say how many hires are going to result from this kind of new organization that they're creating, but they did say that AI safety and alignment is going to include a new team which is focused on safety around artificial intelligence and specifically AGI, artificial general intelligence, or kind of the hypothetical system that is going to be just as capable as any human and can do everything that a human can, right? So this is the AGI we talk about. So similar to the mission of the Super Alignment Division, which OpenAI has, which I think they created this like last July. But this new team within AI Safety and Alignment is going to work alongside the existing AI Safety Centered Research Team, which is headquartered in London. I believe they're called Scalable Alignment, but it's essentially going to be exploring solutions to technical challenges of controlling some of these kind of yet to be created super intelligent AI, right? So it's interesting because this isn't even technology we currently have, but they're creating these teams to essentially, work on, if we get this AGI, if we get this super intelligent AI model, what are we going to do about it? So because of all of this, there was a really interesting quote that I recently saw, which said, it was by Dragon, who is, one of the essentially is leading the AI safety and alignment team. It's Annika Dragon. She's a former Waymo staff research scientist, and she's also a professor of computer science at UC Berkeley. So she's got a lot of experience in AI safety systems and human AI interaction. And I think this really makes her a very pivotal figure in Google's, in this whole move they're doing to essentially kind of navigate some of the really complex landscapes of AI ethics and safety. But this is what she recently said, quote, "Our work at the AI Safety and Alignment Organization aims to enable models to better and more robustly understand human preferences and values." So I think she's kind of highlighting some of the importances of developing AI that can effectively interpret and align with human needs, and also just really like, what are our ethical standards? What do we believe in? Let's make sure that AI is in alignment with us, what we believe in, and not kind of going off on its own, which is kind of, the dystopian fear that a lot of people have. So I think this is definitely a very promising direction, but despite that, and especially this new team, the initiative that Google's kind of rolled out here has a lot of challenges. So the first is public trust in a lot of generative AI tools. It would feel like it is starting to kind of waver a bit. There's a lot of people concerned about deepfakes, misinformation, reliability of AI-driven decisions that kind of we're questioning how well these things are actually making decisions. Recent surveys have kind of underscored there's a lot of apprehension in regards to AI. There's a substantial chunk of the American public specifically, and also a lot of business executives that they've polled that are kind of expressing some concerns over just the ability of AI to amplify inaccuracies. And this is something that, Google got recently hit with in regards to their new Gemini model. Essentially, if you asked it to generate an image of, the founders of Google, it literally had kind of these biases built in where it would say everyone needed to be super diverse in all the images it generated. So it would just generate images of, the founders of Google being Asian instead of obviously they're, Caucasians from California, or, based in California. I don't think that's where they're actually originally from. But in any case, there's two Caucasian men that started Google. And if you ask it to create, generate an image of them, it would generate an Asian. And if you ask it to generate a historically accurate British king from the 18th century, it would generate an image of, a black king and a brown king and, different genders and ethnicities, a female king. And so people have been criticizing that. And because of that, I think that Google specifically has, a lot of work to do in making sure that not just the text, but also the images are accurate. They probably had good intentions trying to focus on diversity, but when it's not historically accurate, it just makes it seem like their AI models are less capable, less accurate. And at the end of the day, this is, really not very beneficial. So I think the issue of hallucinations, where AI models, are generating false information, remains a really big obstacle. This is something that was reported in Microsoft's Copilot suite as well. So this isn't just with Google. This is a lot of different people are experiencing this issue. So while I think the path to really achieving a foolproof AI safety has a lot of complexity, I think Google's investment in this new team represents a really big step towards trying to essentially solve some of these risks associated with this new technology. And as Dragon optimistically notes, the goal for users to experience increasingly helpful and safe interactions with AI models over time. This is something that we can achieve, she believes. So with the acceptance of the success of these efforts, I think that all of this is going to ultimately depend on the ability to effectively address and reduce the instances of, AI just misbehaving, you could say, but just really not doing what it's actually supposed to. And I think that's going to help boost public trust overall. So absolutely fascinating. This is, I think, a good step for Google in the right direction, this new AI safety and alignment team. And I will keep you up to date on how this kind of rolls out. Remember, today is the last day to invest in the AI Box campaign on Republic. Link is in the description, but check out, whether you've invested, whether you're planning on investing, or whether you're curious about the project, make sure to go check out the Republic campaign today. This is the last day. You'll be able to see how much we raised, and you'll be able to see kind of where the campaign sits at the end and kind of what our plans are moving forward for launching this platform. Really appreciate you hopping on the podcast, listening today, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day.